Hi, I'm Ricardo P Lloyd. I'm a British actor. As well as acting, I write, I produce, and I present. I would say I'm an artist. I'm a creative that wants to express himself in full capacity. That's a great question. So my journey of being an actor, I'll say from a child or from young, I've always loved the creative arts and I always loved performing. I remember when I was a child, I used to dress up as a police officer or a fire officer, and I used to, imitate the voices that I heard when I used to go under the underground. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. I'm not gonna do that voice, but I used to always kind of imitate that, or the things that I've watched, like Bug's Life or Titanic. It used to fascinate me. I always pictured myself being in those shows or those films that I had watched. Whether that was performing, I'm thinking I was Michael Jackson or Bob Marley, I was always performing. But as I got older, it was a path that was almost like it was destined for me. It kind of helped me, it changed my life from going down the wrong path, which I will probably explore a bit later on. But I always knew that I wanted to be an actor and be a creative. So I'm from Northwest London, in terms of that's where I'm from in terms of where I was raised, but I was actually born in Ipswich. My family is Jamaican, Caribbean, from the Windrush generation. So they came in the 60s. So my granddad would tell me stories of how he was treated back then and the changes that he saw in the UK, which is pretty interesting because a lot of those experiences I can relate to, even though, it wasn't no dogs, no Irish, no blacks, but I relate to some of the, experiences of being a black man, trying to get your sense of belonging in the Western world. I understand all those struggles. So that's where I'm from. Yeah. What sparked my passion for acting? I would say, like I said earlier, it was always in me from young, and how acting has transformed my life. Out of all the subjects in school, it was drama and English that I was kind of good at, like maths and the other subjects. They were okay, but it wasn't something that I cared about. It was just something that I kind of felt that I needed to have. It gave me that sense of expression. I think being a black male in the UK, it's very hard to express yourself, and I think when you express yourself, it's seen as taboo, or but I feel like being an actor or being an artist allowed me to express myself in ways that I never quite was able to express myself, and that's what I was drawn to, really. So it's transformed my life in many aspects. I went from failing my GCSEs to now having 2 degrees, and that was through acting. Before I had my first degree in performing arts, film, TV, and stage, and I'm here today. Well, my aspiration as an actor is I want to make it to the highest heights in the UK industry and in the world. I want to be in Hollywood. I know that sounds like a bit far-fetched or taboo thing to say, or sometimes a cliche thing to say, but in my heart, I've always wanted to be in film and TV on an international level, and I want to inspire many, many different people through the art and the things that I do. People like Sidney Poitier are inspirations of mine. Knowing what he's done in terms of the industry and representation, that's something that I aim to do in my generation. I want to, do groundbreaking work that, really sheds light on the human experience and the complexity that we go through. And also as well, I want to be the guy that you see and you're inspired by. I don't want to just be a stereotypical character or role. I want to be able to show you the different sides of being a young black man or just being a human being in general. That's a very sound question. How do you stay motivated? I think the biggest motivation that you can ever get in the world is the motivation that you give yourself. And it's hard because sometimes there's so much things that are said against you, and you can't do this, you can't do that. But you have to kind of be your own kind of cheerleader, your own fan. I'm not saying that I'm in love with myself or whatever, but I try to attain that level of love and respect for myself, and just know that I'm bigger than the box that they put me into. And of course, being an actor, you're going to get so much rejections and so much different things up against you. But it's how do you keep on going despite of the obstacles or the things that's in your way. You see how that just kind of just went into each other. Yeah, but I've faced so many different obstacles in my career. Whether that is just trying to be seen or trying to be heard or trying to get that audition or be in the room. I think a lot of the times in our industry it can be very cliquism or elitism, or sometimes, it's hard just being from where we're from to even be in those rooms or get those opportunities. And I feel like I've had to fight a lot to even get to the position that I am now. I'm still fighting every day. Every day is a fight. Every time there's a no, I have to tell myself to keep getting back up and keep on going, and that I'm meant to be here, and I deserve to be here, and I deserve to have the things that I have, and I deserve to have success and more success, and I deserve to be at the very top. Yeah, I think representation is very important. I think if someone says to you that they don't care about representation, then they're kind of delusional, because when you look at life on a whole spectrum, every day it's a battle of being seen and being heard. It's about people respecting or recognizing your identity. Me being a black British guy and being in the Western world, I face so many different challenges, and I want to be someone that is able to break free from those challenges, whether that is personally or professionally in my craft. And I feel like I want to represent the truth of my experiences and other young black males or females' experiences in the world, and tell authentic stories that touches the minds and hearts and make a change for a better future. Yeah, so people might know this or they may not know this, but Mark Rylance has been very kind of instrumental in my career or my life. Not saying that he's been there like all the time or whatever, but I've I had a personal relationship where I've had conversations with him. One of the conversations that I had with him was in 2019 after we did Shakespeare in the Abbey and stuff like that, and he took us out for drinks and stuff like that. And the conversation that we discussed why it's so important for people like myself to be in the industry. And he recognized for the first time that he's privileged as a white male actor, that he's in a position where, because he's a white male actor, he has certain advantages that I may not have or other black actors might not have. And he told me that it's so important to not just be an actor, telling stories, but to have a message and to, impact real change. So I think having that conversation really changed my perspective, because I think to myself, like, for him to kind of recognize some of the invert issues and avert issues that go on, it was very humbling to know that, at his station, that he can recognize that. That's a good question. I've kind of spoken a lot to young people in my career and just in general, but I would say to keep going. There's going to be so many people that's going to say you can't do this, you can't do that, but you need to just know that you deserve to be successful, and you must keep going despite of anything. Don't let anything get in your way, and don't compare yourself to others. There's so many people that like to compare themselves to others, or say, oh, you need to be like this person, or you need to be like that person. F all of that. You need to be like you. You need to be the best version of you every single day. And when you hold on to that truth, it doesn't matter. You're unstoppable. You could be a beast. You could be a force to be reckoned with. And obviously also, you need to study as well. Don't stop learning and studying. Don't just think that your talent alone is going to keep you in a place. It won't. What sustains someone is what education they give themselves, you know, what they surround themselves with, what they do when no one's looking. You know, always strive for excellence. I don't want to be a preacher here, but yeah, strive for excellence. I have my agenda. I think the industry has its agenda of what it wants to mold and shape us into, but I have my own agenda. I know my why I started acting, why I am here, and why I do the things that I do. Because I know my why, that keeps me going. I don't even care what the industry does anymore. Before I used to care. I used to think, oh, what's Damson doing? What's Idris doing? What's Tossin doing? I used to think all that because that's what the industry does. It kind of does that to us. But now, you know, whatever they're doing, that's great. I know that there's going to be Ricardo P Lloyd, and he's going to be in his own path, his own lane. And that's what matters at the end of the day. My success and my story of success is different. It's my unique story of success and my own journey. And I don't care. I don't care what the next man or the next people are doing. I care what I'm doing, and I care what I want to achieve and where I'm heading to and the lives that I want to touch and the stories I want to tell.